time I was 25 years old, I had suffered through the loss of 6 of the closest people to me, one of which was my best friend when I was only 7 years old, and one of which was my father when I was just a teenager. I had battled through multiple physical and sexual assaults. I had battled through drug and alcohol addiction, failed relationships, and a severe panic and anxiety disorder. For me to be up here right now is the epitome of what I do not want to do. But I am, because this is how I go through life. I have battles, I face them head on, I work through the struggles, and somehow I come out fresh and clean like nothing ever happened. On my 25th birthday, I met the man that I thought was going to be my knight in shining armor. I didn't realize I was wearing rose-colored glasses. But I ended up marrying him, and he was not the right man for me. I went through a lot of trauma and issues in my marriage, but I'm not going to really go through any of that tonight. I'm going to fast forward 9 years into the relationship, when I was sitting in the front room watching my 2-year-old daughter playing, and I was 6 weeks pregnant with my son. And this voice came to my head. Now, this voice was not a stranger to me. It had helped me many times through some very scary and sticky situations. And the voice said to me, "Trish, what the hell are you doing? You're not wanted by him. You're so unhappy. What are you doing?" And all I remember thinking is, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm 6 weeks pregnant. I don't have a job that pays me money because I work for our family, managing our rental properties and taking care of the house and the children. And then I thought, okay, there's one thing that I know I need to do right now, and that is focus on having a healthy pregnancy. So any feelings I'm feeling right now, they're just going to have to wait. So, like many other times in my past, I pasted a pretty smile on my face, and I went about my days like there was nothing wrong. I didn't tell a soul how much I was suffering inside. I didn't tell a soul that I didn't want to live, and I didn't want to give birth to yet another child that I didn't know if I could support. But through the grace of God, or divine intervention, or whatever you'd like to call it, I made it through. And then one day, about a year or so after my son was born, I finally had the courage to tell my ex-husband that I wanted a divorce. Thank you. It wasn't easy. I was scared to death. I mean, how am I going to support 2 children? I don't even have a job. But you know what? I had faith. And I found myself a job. And then several months later, I found myself a place to live. And I left my marital home and everything that was attached to it, including the husband, behind. I wish I could tell you that that transition was an easy one, but I would be lying, because yet again, I found myself in my own personal little hell. I did what I thought was right for my kids and for me. I really felt that was the right thing to do. But through the separation, I became bankrupt. I was completely alone, and I was so depressed that I did not want to live. I contemplated my own death every day for years. And yet, I painted that pretty smile on my face, and I went through life as though nothing was wrong. You know, once in a while, I'd rely on a girlfriend, and I'd say, yeah, I'm not feeling so great. You know, I've had a rough day. But I didn't tell anybody that I didn't want to live. I didn't tell anybody that it was my children and my faith that was keeping me alive. So I started to meditate. And I started to learn more about spirituality. And through that, I realized, all these times and all this stuff that I've been through in my life, the only constant thing that kept me going was somebody had my back, this deeper knowing that something was there for me and giving me the strength and the courage to carry on. To be honest with you, I'm surprised I even survived my 25 years, my first 25 years, and then here I am again, going through more hell. But you know what? I learned through my meditation that I had gratitude for everything I went through. I was thankful. I was thankful for being sexually abused when I was a child. That didn't make sense to me until I realized that it was those things in my life that made me who I am, that made me want to live and shout from the rooftops, this is an amazing world, and I want to be a part of it. I still went through some rough times. Don't get me wrong. I was just having some better days, that's all. But then that voice came to me again and said, Trish, the reason you're still having some rough days is because you're not having the right perspective. Stop saying, why me? And start using your experiences as the gift that they are. You need to get online and look at some courses about wellness. I thought, okay, voice, I'll bite, I'll do that. So I did. And about a year later, which was approximately 9 years after the day I had asked for a divorce, I was now an integrative, intuitive health coach. I was very proud of my life. I was open and ready to receive love, and I was on a path of self-discovery. So I started meditating even more, and I started going to motivational events and seminars. One day I ended up at an event with my girlfriend, and I heard the speaker on stage, and he was talking about the seminar he had coming up, and I just got this overwhelming feeling, and I turned to my friend and I said, I can't explain this to you, but I know I need to go to that event because it's going to change my life forever. So she encouraged me. She said, go, do it. So I bought tickets for my daughter and I to go later on that month. Fast forward to the event. It was a motivational event, and it involved topics from business strategy to personal relationships and so on. It also involved some hypnotism and some motivational activities. And on the second day of the event, I was under hypnosis, and I saw myself 5 years in my future. I saw all the details in my living room, and there was a picture of me on the wall, standing on the beach with my arm in the air, and I looked exuberant, and I was wearing a pretty dress, and I looked so happy. So I come out of my hypnosis and back to reality. A little while later, there's a motivational activity. The next thing you know, I'm standing up on stage, eating a torch of fire. Literally, not anything I would ever have expected to be doing. But I did it. And I got off that stage and I went down and I was talking to my daughter about how amazing it was. Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. She's like, I know, me too. And this beautiful man was running through through the crowd, and he comes up to me and he high-fives me and he says, you're awesome, you're a fire eater. And I locked eyes with him and our hands touched and the entire room melted away. If you ask my daughter, she'd say we stared at each other for exactly 6 seconds. And then he walked away, and that was that. Until the next day, I ran into him again, and he asked me to join him and some friends for lunch. So I did just that. And we go back, and we have this, yet again, motivational activity. And, then we go into hypnosis and so on. And as I'm under hypnosis, I'm in the same scene 5 years in my future. And this picture on the wall of me on the beach with my arm in the air now had this beautiful man I was just mooning over for an hour in it. This man is now my fiance and my best friend, Guillaume. Thank you. My entire life has changed, and I owe it all to my faith, my meditation, and my best friend and children. Thank you. I am a fire eater.